Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Countdown, released in 2019. Countdown is the feature debut of writer and director Justin Deck, based on his 2016 short film of the same name. Both films have the same story. A new app can tell people exactly when they're going to die, and it proves to be quite accurate no matter how hard they try to change their fate. Countdown is thus often called the killer app movie, even though it's actually a demon, not the app itself, killing people. And even though there was an actual killer app movie called Bedeviled, released in 2016. But I think the world has collectively agreed to forget about Bedeviled, and frankly, I don't blame us. Unfortunately, Countdown's pretty forgettable too. Anyone who has paid attention watching horror movies could tell you exactly how every beat of this thing goes. And because of a PG-13 rating, it's unable to get graphic with its kills, instead relying on frequent and cheap jump scares. Still, it's got some decent direction, a well-designed demon, and some lighthearted fun to it. So if you're new to horror movies or want something you don't have to get too invested in, you could definitely pick something worse to watch. Besides, I think it's important to occasionally look at mediocre and unremarkable horror movies, just to remind ourselves that the genre's not always good and not always bad. Sometimes it's just, whatever. How many kills occur in this horror movie? Well, there's an app for that. There's a YouTube host for that. And it's me! The movie begins at a solo cup party, and by that I mean exactly what you know I mean. Look at that game of beer pong. A small splintering of this young hip party is seated around playing drinking games and talking shit about their peers.
Liz Murphy needs to stop posting pics of her food. We get it, Liz. You're vegan.
As long as y'all ain't talking shit about my boy Austin Zazier there, he of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and his YouTube channel. He's got a web series with Kevin Smith on there called Son in Lockdown that I found very endearing. Good work, Austin. The kids end up stumbling across an app called Countdown that has a singular Cassandran purpose.
If you could know exactly when you were going to die, would you want to know?
Ooh, how are you gonna react to that, Jeannie? Everyone, including the reluctant Courtney here, downloads the app and conducts the universal daily lie, then compare their countdowns. Most of their readouts range between 20 and 60 odd years, but Courtney's working on a bit of a shorter timetable.
It says I only have 3 hours to live.
You're gonna die!
Oh man, it sucks that Austin Zazier's not in the rest of this movie. Courtney goes to leave with her boyfriend Evan, but with his BAC getting into the 10th decimal place, she doesn't need 13 reasons why she shouldn't let him drive. Not wanting to let the app's death prediction come true, she opts to walk home by herself instead, as Evan drives off angry. Whoa, Court, was that a clown in your pocket or our agreement broken? Yo, and they sending Dementors out to enforce those? Here it is again in case you missed it. Spooky! Courtney gets home and tries to calm herself down, but eventually her clock runs out. I mean, I guess I'll count her as dead now, even though, isn't she dying a little early there? Oh, never mind. It was perfectly timed, which is actually pretty crucial to this whole plot. And looks like her time was supposed to run out in Evan's car, since at that very moment, a tree branch was going through her seat. With the pretty well done opening scene out of the way, we begin the movie proper by meeting our real main character. Hospital intern Quinn Harris is working hard to become a nurse, which means rolling carts down hallways and comforting pre-op patients. Evan, the car-crashing drunk driver, tells her about the Countdown app that correctly predicted his girlfriend's death.
And now it's saying that I'm gonna die during that surgery.
Quinn mentions the app to her coworkers as they celebrate her passing her nurse's exam, which once again leads to everyone comparing the length of their lifelines.
57 years. That'll make me 677, 98.
Well, good for you, Dr. Sullivan, or should we say Dr. Centenarian. Quinn installs the app and agrees to the terms and conditions, only to find out she's got 2 days and change left to live. If only she had that much time before having to deal with Doc Sullivan's inappropriate workplace behavior. But the countdown for that ish ends in 5, 4, 3, 2, there it is. Ew. Quinn goes to her childhood home to get her birth certificate, but it's a place filled with painful memories of deceased matriarchs, so she tries to sneak in and out without seeing anyone. She fails when she runs into her younger sister Jordan, who doesn't appreciate Quinn's constant absence.
See you in another 6 months then? Cool.
Aw, don't be like that, Jordan. Come on, do you want to build a snowman or something? Their sisterly squabbles wake up their dad Charlie, and before Quinn can get out of there, he gets her on the hook to visit their mom's grave that weekend. With Evan's countdown saying he's got 3 minutes left, he decides to ditch his surgery in an attempt to keep himself safe. Oh shit, dude, the RAM app is pissed again. And don't look now, but the enforcer's been sent out. Maybe you'll be okay if you just... Nope, get on out of there. He goes to a stairwell of stock sound effects and sees Courtney standing on the steps, looking a little bit more backwards than the last time he saw her. His phone falls down the stairwell and gives us a countdown to our second kill of the film. Quinn finds out about Evan's death from Nurse Amy, played by Tachina Arnold, who is one of the kick-ass Greek chorus gals in Little Shop of Horrors. Remembering what he said about the app, she grabs his phone to investigate, and though it takes some effort, is able to unlock it. Hey, don't you come to daddy us, mister. You keep your eyes to yourself. And, you know, looking forward, if you can. Perhaps getting cold feet after seeing Evan's cold body, Quinn calls her dad and cancels her cemetery visit. And by the sound of her phone, she just canceled her trip to the grave in more than one way. And that's how you get visited by hospital ghouls. Nah, just playing. Or am I? Dr. Sullivan corners Quinn in a room, and after giving her a hug that should definitely be more ass out, he implies that she should pay him back for all the career help he's provided.
I really want to kiss you right now.
Oh, I don't think that's appropriate.
Man, Elizabeth Lyle just can't get away from obsessive stalkers, huh? The doctor doesn't take no for an answer, a much more physical villain than the specter she passed a few minutes ago. And when Quinn tries to report the incident to Nurse Amy, she gets talk blocked by Sullivan, who pulls Amy away for a task. That son of a bitch. Yeah, we know, phone, user agreement broken. Quinn looks up Countdown in an internet search and finds an article about Courtney, then a video from a commenter saying she too is experiencing unintended spooky side effects from the app.
Like last night, I saw my cousin who died in April. I saw him.
The woman then says it's here, and I'll believe her and count her as dead, even though plenty of the comments think it's fake and or bullshit. They're probably right, Quinn. Never mind! Since Quinn can't get Countdown off her phone, she takes it to a repair guy who's not too concerned about getting good Yelp reviews.
Where's your manager?
Let me go get him. Just
Yeah,
hang on.
go
All right,
get him.
Hold on. Hello, I'm the manager. Something I can help you with?
Derek here is played by comedian Tom Segura and is one of the movie's bright spots, breathing life into the paint-by-numbers plot with his character work.
I trust you. Something in your eyes says you're a normal, completely sane person.
He sells her a clean new phone, but the thing gets corrupted in no time.
Next.
And the Countdown app is once again unable to be removed. Another customer named Matt hears Quinn freaking out, so he goes to the parking lot and shows her that he's part of the Countdown Club too. They head to a bar and talk about the app's user agreement in flat dialogue meant to be funny.
Did you read it?
Yeah, terms and conditions. Every word.
Really?
No.
Let's see a little energy here, people, come on! Wanting to read over the agreement again, they decide to use the phone of a drunk conspiracy theorist barfly played by John Bishop, who, 35 years earlier, played a very excitable bully in Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, that's what I thought you said. Reading over the terms and conditions more closely, they discover the clause likely causing their problems.
Any attempt to use information derived from Countdown to alter the user's fate will result in a breach of this agreement. Accept the terms of our fate.
Matt says he attempted to alter his fate when he canceled a trip he would have been on when his countdown would hit 0. Just like Quinn canceled her cemetery visit, which also would have occurred at the end of her death clock. You know, I think it's pretty obvious. There's only one explanation here.
Demons.
Yeah! Wait, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like demon stuff to me.
I guess guess it's demon stuff. They're directed to a demonologist by a priest at the hospital, but on their way to go see him, Nurse Amy pulls Quinn aside, leaving Matt to do his best Ian Malcolm impression.
No, I'm talking to myself.
That's chaos theory. Matt has a bathroom run-in with the feet of a young boy who just can't pick which stall he wants to poop in. Hell, he can't even figure out how to walk backwards without breaking his ankles. Damn! The lights flicker off, there's a scary flying demon kid, but then it disappears and that scene is over. Nurse Amy takes Quinn into a surprise HR meeting where Doc Sullivan has managed to get out in front of her complaint.
But you cornering me in my office like that wasn't okay. It needs to be addressed.
Quinn is understandably pissed about her abuser's, what were those comments saying? Oh yeah, bullshit. And she storms out of the room when no one listens to her side of the story.
She seems like a very unstable young woman.
Quinn and Matt go to a church to meet their demonologist and find him in the back listening to Lil Nas X and munching on Jesus crackers. Body of Christ. Father John is played by PJ Byrne, who was the sex pest in the best Final Destination movie. And it's great to see him in a less obnoxious role here, as an excitable but inexperienced demon-obsessed priest.
I love this stuff. I mean, the Bible is like the ultimate graphic novel.
Producer Sean Anders calls Father John the Comic-Con priest, and his character, along with Derek the phone repair dick, points to how the filmmakers were hoping to make Countdown a fun horror movie. Makes sense that this movie would have a comedic tone, since producer Anders primarily works in comedy, having written Hot Tub Time Machine and written and directed the Daddy's Home movies. In fact, the producer met director Justin Deck when Deck was a PA on Anders' first studio film, 2008's Sex Drive. Always maintain those connections, folks. Father John tells Quinn and Matt a story about a Roma woman who once told a prince when he would die. When the prince tried to avoid his fate, he got hit with a cosmic punishment in the form of a fictional demon.
It's the demon, Ozin.
Ozin, that scary mofo, tormented the priest until his prescribed moment of death, which is the same fate that awaits anyone who breaks Countdown's terms and conditions. Hoping to get more info from the app, Quinn and Matt return to Derek and give him their credit cards to hack into it.
This feels illegal. I like it.
He opens the app's code, and after noting that it has some Latin written into it, begins searching up their names. Derek sees that he has 32 years left and decides to alter the code and set himself up for an oldest living person record. When he goes to look up Quinn's code, they discover that her sister Jordan's name is also listed inside the app.
Her clock is the same as mine.
Actually, no. Hers is 3 minutes shorter.
Did you just actually this woman about her sister dying, dude? He changes all their codes and takes off for a Tinder date, leaving Quinn and Matt a little more relieved, now that they'll live to be Nona and octogenarians. Still, they figure this whole experience is as good an excuse as any to stay the night with each other.
Do you want to be alone tonight?
Not at all.
At Quinn's house, Matt divulges his #traumatic past. When he was 10, his younger brother got sick, which took up all his parents' attention and got the sick siblings some sweet toys.
You stupid robot dinosaur.
Whoa, ain't nothing stupid about no robot dinosaur. Anyway, Matt took the dino robot from his dying bro, not thinking about how guilty he would feel until this very day, or about how his dead brother would visit him in hospital bathrooms. Quinn also opens up and says how once upon a time, when she was young, she ran off to a party, and when her mom went out to look for her, she got killed by a drunk driver. With their misery tale trade complete, the two of them have earned a snuggle sesh. Aw, I love snuggle sessions, don't you, Matt?
Yo, are you calling my name?
Wait, if you're... Oh my god! Turns out their app hacking didn't work worth shit, and both of them are back down to their final hours. Jordan is as well, which is why she's getting tormented by Ozin, who appears as their dead mother asking where Quinn is. Quinn comes and gets her, and the three of them go back to Father John, who translates the Latin in the app's code.
This curse will come upon you, will pursue you and overwhelm you until you are utterly destroyed. This is good. This is like really good.
He's excited because he thinks he knows how to break the curse. All they have to do is prove Satan a liar by making their death clock wrong, even if only by a single second. They create a protective symbol on the ground using white paint and blessed holy salt. The plan is to stay inside its boundaries, keeping them safe from deadly demons, until Matt's clock runs out and Satan is proven wrong. As his countdown nears its end, Ozen comes a-calling, but he's unable to cross the sodium boundary, no matter how scary he be looking. I really like Ozen's design, which was done by Scott Stoddard, who worked on the Friday remake, and Howard Berger of K&B, who's worked on, everything. They based the design off a drawing by Aaron Sims, who also created Stranger Things' Demogorgon, and K&B effects artist Dirk Rogers portrayed the demon on set after a makeup process that only took a single hour. Surprisingly, Ozen is almost entirely practical, aside from some digital augmentation around his eyes. Unable to get in, Ozen decides to lure Matt out by sending in the greatest toy of all time, motherfucking robot dinosaur. Ozen appears as Matt's younger brother again and admonishes him for his childhood thievery, then gets him to take a step outside the salt circle so it can grab him and pull him away. By time Quinn gets outside to help, Matt is hit by a truck and smashed straight into a tree. Poor guy. Anyone got a painkiller to give him? Might make his last seconds more comfortable as they run out right on time, solidifying their failure to extend someone's life past their countdown. Jordan's bleeding from a spill she took in the basement, so Quinn takes her to the hospital she works at, probably hoping to get the family rate. While there, she's approached by another nurse named Rachel, played by Lana McKissack, who once had a YouTube channel and who very nearly became a drunk Disney guest back in the day. Rachel tells Quinn that she heard about what happened with Slimy Sullivan and that she too has been a victim of the guy's harassment. Rachel's revelation gives Quinn an idea. If she can't prove Satan a liar by keeping someone alive, maybe she can do it by making someone punch their time card early. With her and her sister's countdowns nearing an end, she decides her only option is to orphan some vampires. Quinn goes to Sullivan and comes on to him, saying that she wants her job back and is willing to do anything for it. She leads him to a closed wing of the hospital where he follows a trail of her attire. But this game of cat and mouse ends when the mouse runs up and starts beating the shit out of the cat. Quinn goes to stab Sullivan with a fatal dose of morphine, but he just says no with the help of his friend Ozen. She catches up to him, kicks him in the nuts, and shouts a timely reference,
Your time's up, you rapey fuck!
But even after she chucks a fucking crowbar at him, she's unable to kill him thanks to continual interference by the bulldozing Ozen. Jordan's staring down the end of her death clock, meaning she might get canceled early without a satisfying conclusion. Damn, Ozen, you're really about to throw a high school girl through a window? That's ruthless. He's just about to kill Jordan when Quinn appears with a plan C in hand. Unable to extend someone's life or shorten someone else's, Quinn has decided to end her own life early to make Satan a liar and finally break the curse. Ozen tries to stop her with a hallucination of their dead mom, but Quinn sticks to her plan and sticks herself with an overdose of morphine. Sorry, Ozen, floating Quinn in the air ain't about to save her. She's dead, ahead of your clock, meaning Satan's just like Paul Giamatti, a big fat liar. With his curse broken, Ozen straight up disintegrates right in front of them and drops Quinn's body to the ground. A distraught Jordan tends to her dead sister and finds some post-mortem instructions on her arm. Looks like she can save Quinn through the power of, all together now, drugs. It works, and Quinn is revived. But I'm gonna leave her on the kill count because I think she would have technically had to die in order for the plan to work. I don't think you can just fake a death for a demon. So to me, it still technically counts as a kill, even if they did throw a reverse Uno card at it. Does that contradict my counting in some earlier episode? Almost certainly. I mean, there's 240 of these fucking things. Quinn's family finally makes that cemetery visit, and they see on the news that Doc Sullivan has been arrested. So the movie ends with everything great, right? Wrong, because Quinn just found a new app on her phone. Oh yeah, there's also a mid-credit scene where Kevin is shown being piggish on a Tinder date with fellow comedian Christina Pazitsky, who also happens to be Tom Segura's real-life wife. Oh, that's nice. The app's little scream goes off and we hear his countdown changing, but I'm not gonna count a kill here because Kevin's original timeline showed him living for decades more. And it doesn't make sense to me that Ozen would make himself a liar just for widow old Kevin. million. How many kills did I count up and count down? Let's find out. And you know what, actually, I don't really feel like doing the numbers today. I just... Terms and conditions broken. What? I didn't sign no contract. I'm my own boss, Ozen. Though I guess, you know, maybe I should just go do the numbers anyway. Just in case. There were 5 deaths in Countdown, though only 4 of them stayed permanent. Huh, lower body count than I'd expect. Oh well, at least it gave us one of those rare female majority pie charts. With a runtime of 91 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 18.2 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Evan. Obviously, none of these kills were bangers, but his was the best directed, I think. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to the snuff video victim, since we couldn't really see what happened to her. And that's it. Countdown came out in 2019 and is just one of those whatever movies, you know? On Friday, we look at a classic, the 1933 Invisible Man. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons like Colton Bell, Amanda Kronstad, David Scholar, Abby, Matthew, Mitch Gibson, and Abigail M. I'm looking to make some tweaks to the set going forward. I would love to hear your advice. What do you want to see? I know I had the Dead Meat sign up there before. I want to have it up there again. I'm just hesitant to nail into this newly painted wall, you know? The colored lights that were in the back, those aren't there right now. Do you miss those? Did you notice those? Thanks everyone. Be good people.